Take me out to the bowl game. Take me out to the crowd. Hi there. You've just rudely interrupted me singing my favorite song about baseball. Did you know that Take Me Out to the Ball Game was written in 1908? That means it's been annoying crowds during the seventh inning stretch of baseball games for almost 120 years. The only song more irritating and pervasive I can think of is Happy Birthday. There's a few other good songs about baseball that come to mind. There's Center Field by John Fogerty. That's pretty good. There's Van Lingle Mungo, a song dear to my heart because it's just about naming the most ridiculous baseball player names you can think of. And then there's that Talkin' Baseball song, which is kind of similar. It seems like he's mostly naming players from the New York teams, though. Typical. Sure, it's going to suck when I get to the 1950s and I'm only going to be reviewing World Series featuring teams from New York for like 10 weeks. Who knows, maybe I'll be killed by an angry commenter before then. Well, one can dream. It's 1908 Doug Boring World Series reviews. We got a rerun this week, folks. It's the Cubs and the Tigers again. Since the Cubs added a little Cubby Bear to the logo, that's pretty cool. It's better than anything we've seen before. 1908 had two really close races for the pennant in either league. It was also pretty close to the Tigers in 1907. In fact, it was the only year where the second place team finished with less losses than the first place team. I'm seeing that in the American League, they were scheduled for 154 games in 1907 and 1908, right? But the Tigers only play 153 with 3 ties. The Athletics play 150 with 5 ties, right? So they didn't even play the regulation amount. This looks like if the Athletics had played the whole 154 and won those other 4, they would have won outright. And if the Tigers had also played the 154th game and lost that, then the A's would have won with even less losses than the Tigers. Like, are they even paying attention? Like, what's going on here? This is ridiculous. Man, 1908 is even more confusing. I mean, the Tigers play the full 154-game schedule. The Cleveland naps. Oh, were they sweeping Cleveland this year? Come on, man. They play 157 and the White Sox play 156. And now I see with total decisions, they're trying to make up some of these tie games so that they have 154 decisions. But that doesn't even happen for the White Sox. They only have 152 decisions. This means if the Tigers are forced to play game 154 and they lose, then Cleveland wins. Why didn't they argue for this? Why didn't they complain to the league? I mean, in the Sox with 152 decisions, what if they played the last 2 games and won, and then the Tigers had lost game 154, and then there would be a 3-way tie? God, I hate numbers so much. This is so confusing. These guys aren't paying attention at all. This is the most willy-nilly nonsense. Listen, I respect baseball players. I think they're great athletes. I think these guys are legends, but they're a bunch of ding-dongs, and they don't know what's going on. Do they not write things down? Isn't winning the pennant the most important thing for these guys? What they needed was the Cubs' second baseman and infield lawyer, Johnny Evers. Evers helped them litigate their way to the pennant in a couple situations. He got his first practice in against the Pirates in a game in September. With the winning run coming in on a walk-off hit in the 9th, Evers noticed that the runner first didn't touch second base, so he called for the ball to be relayed in from the outfield, and he touched second, but he couldn't find the umpire. So the Cubs complained and tried to rule that it should have been the third out and the game should have been tied, but the league wouldn't hear it, and the Pirates' win stood. A much more famous incident happened against the Giants later that season. It was 1-1 in the bottom of the 9th. The Giants up to bat. Moose McCormick, cool name, on third base, and the rookie Fred Merkle, only 19 years old, on first, with Al Bridwell up to bat. Bridwell hits a single to the outfield. McCormick scores. Merkle sees him score, and he also doesn't touch second base because, how do I say this? Do I have to talk about this? Can I just tell them to ask their parents? Well, yeah, I did. I did check the box. Yeah, I checked the box that says my content's not for children. Damn it. So, Merkle sees the run come home, and I guess he starts, celebrating early or something. And he, Okay, so when a boy reaches a certain age, it's perfectly natural for him to have these impulses and feel. No, it's not. I really don't want to talk about this. That's something that's appropriate. It's history, though, I know. Oh, this is so weird. Well, let's just look at the newspaper headline. Yeah. Merkle, instead of touching second base, did that for some reason. Like, maybe he was celebrating. Like, listen, this happened on John McGraw's watch. I blame him. I don't know what he's teaching his players. It seems really weird and inappropriate and kind of immature. But it happened. They shouldn't do that in the baseball field. And Johnny Evers noticed, and luckily wasn't too distracted by that. So he called for the ball to be thrown in from the outfield. But it got past him and went to pitcher Joe McGinnity. Evers and Tinker wrestled with McGinnity, but McGinnity managed to chuck the ball into the crowd. And Harry Steinfeld and another player named Rube Crow, pretty cool name, went into the crowd and wrestled the ball away from the fan. Evers came back into the infield with the ball, found the umpire and touched second, ruling Merkle out. Who knows if it was the actual game ball or a sneaky little lawyer trick, but either way I applaud Evers for his resourcefulness. The win had already been called for the Giants as the run went across home plate, but Merkle could have been called out because Merkle's boner. I'm sorry for talking about that. But in the end, with all the complaining and crying to the umpire, they ruled the game a tie. And it was decided that if at the end of the season the Cubs and the Giants had a tie record, they would get to play a playoff. And the Giants got to decide whether it was a best of 5 or just a one-game playoff. And they chose one game because they had the gentleman, Christy Mathewson, on the mound. Well, needless to say, since I already told you it was in the World Series, the Cubs won. They got to Mathewson. After the Cubs win in the playoff game in New York, a bunch of disgusting New Yorkers poured onto the field and nearly killed the Cubs. They hit manager Frank Chas with a bottle and lacerated him somewhere. Jack Fleister was stabbed. Yeah, their fans are just... So we have another World Series and the Cubs beat the Tigers again. What can I say? The Tigers won Game 3 this time. There's no stupid ties. Ty Cobb, he's not stupid though. He did way better than in the previous series. He did better than anyone on the Tigers. Led in hits, RBIs, batting average. That had only led to one win for them. Games 4 and 5, shutout. Orville, overall. He's my MVP again. Pitched 18 third innings, 15 strikeouts, a shutout, a weird name. I just love this guy. I wish all players had names that cool. Weird. I wish that Van Lingle would actually play in a World Series, but I just know he doesn't. But we're just going to take this opportunity to say Van Lingle a few more times while we can. And if you want to know about the cool names in the series, it's pretty much the same. Just watch the 1907 one. Watch the video for that. Just click on it. It's easy. Maybe subscribe for once in your lives. Jeremy Schaefer, though, for the Tigers, in addition to having a cool name, I think he needs to be mentioned. This guy's speciality was trying to steal first base when you're on second to confuse the other team and allow a runner to score. They would eventually make this illegal at the end of the dead ball era, but that is a really cool move. Everybody's really sneaky on these two teams, like Johnny Evers and Jimmy Schaefer. I think we could use more of that in baseball, little tricky guys. There were no errors in this World Series. That's cool. I kind of thought they liked errors. Maybe I was just trying to be cute with it, but, good for them. I mean, it's Tinker, Ever, and Chance. They're going to make errors? Probably not. We'll write the poems about them if they did. Speaking of Tinker, Ever, and Chance, there were no 6-4-3 double plays in any of the last 3 World Series. The 3 World Series in a row that Tinker, Ever, and Chance played in together, they didn't do one of their famous double plays. I mean, I guess that was written in 1910, so maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but yeah, I think it's really cool. They refused to play the hits. They went out there and kind of played with integrity and did their thing and won a couple of World Series, I really respect that, of the artistry there. It's kind of like Husker Du or the Minutemen or something, You probably don't know. Not doing the thing you're famous for, you have the biggest spotlight, maybe a little bit of hipster stuff there. Maybe they're the kind of hipsters. I like it. I guess sometimes it's a journey and not the destination or whatever people tell themselves to pretend they're not mad about what just happened. Well, that was a crazy pennant race followed by a really boring, stupid World Series. We had wrestling matches on the field. We had people going into the stands. We had tricky fake balls. We had people arguing with umpires. We had missing umpires. Well, no time for comment corner this week because we had to spend so much time talking about Merkle pulling on his stuff. If you want me to answer your stupid questions, leave it in the comments. I have all the answers due to the clandestine network of dads, friends, and friends' dads that give me access to baseball knowledge beyond your wildest dreams. Wow, next week it's 1909. It's the last World Series of the 1900s. It's the Tigers getting a third chance, this time against the Pittsburgh Pirates, the team that lost the very first World Series, and the team whose owner argued for the World Series in the first place. Gotta respect that. Well, just like and subscribe to my videos and stuff, man. Just do it. It's not hard. And what else are you gonna do? I mean, if you love stupid baseball names and hate statistics and numbers, this is the channel for you. There's another famous mistake named after the player Fred Snodgrass that I don't fully understand, and I'm also not going to get into right now, and hopefully don't have to get into. You're welcome.